So, Costco is the best. It is so good. Gas is so cheap. $50 a year for that? Ridiculous. Never have to spend any money on gas. It's so good. But, we got some crazy news today. This is my last time riding the Scrambler. I'll miss the bike. I really will. How much will I miss it? Probably not that much, but I will. I got to enjoy it while I had it. Today I'm trading it in for the new baby. So, I've had the Scrambler for 6 months. I got it in February before I left for Arizona to go to the Triumph press event. And I guess it wasn't really press event, it was more training for me than press. I mean, my audio was boned for that whole trip anyway, so I don't have any good video. But I've had the thing for about 6 months. My last bike was a Daytona 675R, and I loved it. It was my favorite bike ever. I mean, I haven't had that many bikes, but I've ridden a lot. I've probably had the Daytona for about, probably a year and 10 months. Had 18,000 miles on it. Rode the crap out of that thing. I loved it. The pace I was going, I almost had 2 valve services within warranty period. It was ridiculous. I actually used that unlimited miles warranty. But decided to sell it because I had only ever known sport bikes, and it's like, you know what? Let's try something else. So I did. I sold it. Spent the whole winter deciding on what I wanted, and probably about a week before I left for Arizona, it's like, you know what? Let's go ahead and get a Scrambler. Walked into the dealership, it's like, let's run it, dude. It's time. I've decided. So I got my Scrambler 1200 XE showcase with all the goodies on it. Aero exhaust, Bluetooth, I mean, just the whole shebang. I didn't skip anything. It's not like I had never ridden the Scrambler before. And in 2018, when they first came out, I got to go out to California and ride them. Or 2019. January or February 2019, went out to California. Got to ride the Scramblers out in the middle of the desert. Oh man, it was a great time. And I absolutely loved the Scrambler back then. When I got to go out and just beat on the bike like it wasn't mine, because, you know, it wasn't mine. And I loved it. I had a blast. It's largely why I bought the Scrambler. I got to ride it for 4 or 5 hours and spend most of that time off-road. But a year later, pick one of these up, ride it all the way from February to now, August. And I decided, like, it's great and all, but it is just not my style. I am not an adventure bike kind of guy. It just didn't cut it for me. The upright position, the really wide handlebars, the long travel, I mean, I like the suspension. The long travel suspension is fucking amazing. But everything else about it just didn't cut it for me. And then, you know, working at the dealership, I do the safety and prep rides on all the sold bikes. And some of them, not all of them, but I got to go out on a Thruster, and it's like, oh man, I miss this so much. I miss the tight controls. I miss the claustrophobic position. It's just, this is fucking amazing, and I want it back. So I started keeping an eye out. Had an opportunity for a Daytona for like $5,000. The lady ended up lying about it, and just the whole thing fell apart. Didn't get it. And, you know, after doing the searching and the decision making, I came to the conclusion it's time to get rid of the Scrambler. It doesn't do it for me, and I'm looking forward to the next bike. Well, Tuesday this week, it's Thursday right now, I made my decision. I found the bike I wanted, I bought it, and today's my last day on the Scrambler. After this afternoon, I'll have a brand new bike to ride, which will be a surprise. I'm so looking forward to it. It is still a Triumph, and I can't wait. I lost a little bit of money trading it in, but you know what? I didn't want to deal with having to sell my bike. I sell the dealership bikes every day. I don't want to sell my own. I don't want to deal with it. So the small amount of money I lost trading it in, worth it. I don't want to deal with it. It's not a problem I want to be mine. So, Scrambler's all sorted out, and next bike is in line. But let's get into what I liked about the Scrambler. The long travel suspension is amazing. It handles well at high speeds. It feels good on the highway, and then city riding, outside of it being tall, it soaks up bumps and potholes and all the nonsense real well. Taking it off road, it just glides over the dirt. It's so amazing. You can feel, but it's not abusive. I love it. It feels so good. Suspension is one of the best parts about the Scrambler 1200. The engine, ton of fun. Torque like nobody's business. Power wheelies in first and second gear. The torque just pushes this bitch around. It's another great characteristic. You get a ton of feel out of the engine. Throttle response is really good. And it just feels so great. Let's slow down a little bit. I'm not going to bother passing this guy at 1 mile an hour faster than he's going. The handlebars, seating position, it's all very square. Exactly what you'd expect out of a Scrambler. Nothing unexpected. And honestly, being a sport bike guy, the position's kind of what does it in for me. I'm used to the leaned over, high peg position, and aggressive, tight handling. And moving to the Scrambler, I'm not used to it, and I'm having trouble getting used to it. The seat's fine. I don't have any trouble with comfort. The handguards are nice for wind. They block tree branches and all your other nonsense really well. We got a 7/8 inch handlebar, so it's not too fat in the hands, which I really enjoy. I got small hands. The 1-inch handlebars are usually a little rough for me. But I love these handlebars. The grips, nice and toasty. I got my heated grips on right now. It's probably about 65, 70 degrees. And it's going to get colder tonight. That's probably going to be the biggest thing I'm going to miss from this bike is the heated grips. Oh my god. Heated grips on this thing are awesome. You set that bitch to high and oh my god, you have to let go of the grips to cool off. Heated grips on this thing work really well. The keyless start, I haven't had any issues with it. It shares similar quirks to the other keyless start bikes from Triumph. Every now and then it'll say key fob out of range. I found the best way to remedy that is the orientation of the key. So I keep it in my chest pocket in the upright position, not the side to side or laying flat, which sometimes it likes to settle to. So keeping your key fob in an upright position is usually the best way to keep your bike from throwing errors. The Bluetooth, haven't had any issues with it. The only thing I couldn't figure out is how to connect my Hero 7. I just couldn't figure it out and didn't care enough to do it. The music controls, sound controls, it all works really well. I do suggest if you plan on using the Bluetooth, having your phone and your Sena disconnected. So they both connect through the bike, and you don't end up getting weird interferences where they jump between each other. Outside of that, it works really nice. The GPS uses Google Maps. So, I mean, you can use that on your phone and know what it's all about. Nothing special. Turn-by-turn navigation. It's not going to show the actual GPS on your dash. It'll show your turn-by-turn. Oh, your turn-by-turn, your miles until next exit, stuff like that. I know a lot of people that shit would be super useful, but I prefer my audio cues through Waze. It's just the way I like to do things. The service intervals, had I, ridden the bike enough, 10,000 miles is pretty amazing for service. 20,000 on valves, oh my gosh, never have to do it. Until I hit 20,000, which it would have taken me a while on this bike. I don't love this bike like I love my Daytona. And not to the fault of the bike, it's all on me. I'm not an adventure bike guy. The wheels are really nice. Something that I found with other 21-inch front wheel bikes is that it's kind of tippy in the front. A lot of bikes, like the Tiger 800 XC and other adventure bikes with that 21-inch wheel, I found that they like to wobble a little bit, especially at low speed. They have that rake angle issue that you'll get with a lot of cruisers too. You start to turn it and it just wants to keep going. This one feels much more like a naked bike or a sport bike. A little bit more of a shallow angle or a steep angle, and it doesn't want to flop around when you turn, which I really enjoy. Makes it feel much more planted and steady and predictable. The display, I love the display. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to on the next bike, is that it keeps the TFT display, and it's one of the best things about the bike. That display is so good. It's clear, even in full bright days. I don't have any issue seeing it. It just works. Gas gauge is super accurate. I never have any issues gauging when I need to stop for fuel. I've got TPMS sensors, and they're useful, but my tire pressure is at like 38 on my rear, and then probably 31 or 32 on the front, and it just keeps screaming at me to fix it. Like, bruh, they're between 30 and 40, I don't care. Not a problem, okay? Leave me alone, it's fine. All the rider modes and everything work really well. You can definitely feel a difference between power delivery and the way the bike meters itself, between road, rain, sport, off-road. There is a pretty significant difference between all the rider modes. There was one other thing. Oh, fuck, what was it? The controls, the usability for the display is fantastic. The only quality of life thing I'd like changed would be have these buttons on the left side here are rearranged a little bit, because there's sometimes I'll go from my turn signal to my horn on accident and accidentally honk at people when I'm turning my turn signal off. It's not that bad. I've gotten used to it. I haven't done it in probably 600-700 miles out of my 1,800. So really, outside of that, everything on the bike is fantastic. I don't really have any complaints. The high mount exhaust right there doesn't bother me at all. Overall, I'd give the Scrambler a 4 out of 5. The only thing holding it back is quality of life and a couple of little quirks with the Bluetooth and TFT. Outside of that stuff, I think the bike is fantastic. It is so nearly perfect. The wheels, the suspension, the engine, it's all so good. All I change is usability. Outside of that, I don't regret buying this bike. It was a good learning opportunity. It cost me a little bit of money, but you know what? I'm okay with that. It's good for me. I can live with it. Maybe I'll get one in the future, but right now, I want a sport bike. And I'm sad. I'm a little sad to see this go. If I could have kept them both, I would. Having the new bike and this one, I almost slipped there. I almost said what bike I was getting. Oh, it was really close. It would have been perfect. See you guys. Next time you'll see me on the new bike.